Hi everybody, this is Mr. Short. Today we're going to continue with ChemQuest 2, and specifically we're on page 8, learning how to round to a predetermined decimal place. First of all, in this number over here, you can take a look at the number and take a look at the names of the placeholder values. I'm sure you're familiar with these. In particular, to the right of the decimal place, of course, we have the tenths place, ones place to the left, and then the tens place, 2 places to the left. Sometimes students get the tenths place and the tens place confused. When we do this, when we round to a certain decimal place, what we're going to do is use a similar strategy that we used on the previous page when we were rounding to a certain number of significant figures. We're going to use the rounding bar method, and we're just going to apply this right down here in question number 8. If you take a look in question number 8, question 8 says that we're going to round each one of these to the tens place. So if we apply the rounding bar method and we round to the tens place, the tens place would be right here at the 1. We're going to draw the rounding bar in between the 1 and the 8 over here. Whoops. Really difficult to use this sometimes. Okay, so the 8 says that we're going to round the 1 up to a 2. So the final answer here is going to be 134, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, 0, 2, 0. We have to change this 8 to a 0 like we did right over there. If we were to just drop the 8, we would have drastically changed the size of the number. And that's something that I'm going to talk about repeatedly with rounding. We can't drastically change the size of the number when we repeat. So you're going to have to think about whether you change something to a 0 or you drop it. Okay. If we round b to the tens place, here's the decimal, so the 0 is in the ones place, the 9 is in the tens place. So we're going to draw a rounding bar right there. The 0 says that we're not going to round the 9 up, so the final number, take a look, it's about 23,190, so it makes sense that we would round this to 23,190. Notice that there's no decimal place at the end. If we were to put a decimal place there, we would have an ending 0 and a number with a decimal, so we would have too many significant figures there, and we would not have rounded to the tens place. Do you see how here the last significant figure is in the tens place, just like the last significant figure is in the tens place over there? Okay, with C, if we round it to the tens place, the 3 is in the tens place. So this 9 says that we're going to round the 3 up to a 4. So notice the number is about 439. So it makes sense that we would round this number to 440. And our last number, our last significant figure, is in the tens place. Here we have the rounding bar. Final answer 2,950. That's a 9. Okay, so that's how we round to a placeholder value. That's going to come into play down here when we learn how to round in addition and subtraction problems. The concept that you're going to read about here is that when you round in addition and subtraction problems, you cannot gain precision in that mathematical process. For that reason, we always have to round in addition and subtraction problems to the least precise last significant figure. Okay, what does that mean? Least precise last significant figure. I want us to go up here and I want us to write on the left hand side less precise, and on the right hand side more precise. What this means is that the most precise significant figure or placeholder value here is in the thousandths place, and the least precise significant figure or placeholder value here is in the hundred thousandths place. So what we mean is that for a digit to be further to the right is a more precise significant figure, or placeholder value I should say, and to be further to the left is a less precise placeholder value. Okay, this is going to come into play when we learn how to round in addition and subtraction problems. Here's the method that we use in addition and subtraction problems for rounding to the correct number of significant figures. What we need to do is we need to line up the placeholder values. So can you spot here that we've got a 0, as in 350.04, this 0 is in the ones place, just like this 0 is also in the ones place. So we've lined up the ones place, we've lined up the digits in the tens place, and we've lined up the digits in the hundreds place. We have to line up these placeholder values, and then my suggestion is that you mark with a star the last significant figure in each of the numbers that you're adding or subtracting. It's the 4 in the top number, and it's this 2 in the bottom number. What we're going to do is, because this 2 is in the tens place and it is a less precise placeholder value, we need to round to the tens place, as it says right over here. So I'm going to draw my rounding bar all the way down through the tens place. And if I were to take out the calculator, I would get the number 1070.04. But because the rounding bar is right here, this 0 says that we're not going to round the 7 up to an 8. So it makes sense that we would round the number 1070.04 to the final answer of 1070. And if you take a look over here, it says the answer gets rounded to the least specific place that has a significant figure. In this case, it was the tens place. It's less significant than the hundredths place, and so the answer needs to be rounded to the tenths place, just like this 2 is in the tenths place. All right, just like for addition, we have to follow this method where we line up the placeholder values. Same thing with subtraction. So if we've got the numbers 7,000 minus 1,770, we would line up the placeholder values. We've got a 7 in the thousands place, and we've got a 1 in the thousands place. When I find my last significant figure, it looks like this. I find the least specific placeholder value, which is further to the left, and I draw my rounding bar. This 2 says that we're not going to round the 5 up to a 6, and so the final answer is 5,000. And if you take a look at this box right here, it says the answer gets rounded to the least specific placeholder value that has a last significant figure, which is the 7 in this number. Okay, so again, in this case, the thousands place is less significant than the tens place, where we had this significant figure marked, and so the answer gets rounded to the thousands place. Okay, your job is going to be to complete questions 9 and 10 here, but I want to point something out. In question 9, you have a mixture of addition and subtraction problems. What you need to do is to rewrite those so that the placeholder values are all lined up. I'm going to do this for A and B. For A, it's 24.28, and then it's plus 12.5. So we have to line up the placeholder values, and then we mark the last significant figure. Okay? Are we going to round to the tenths place, which is further to the left, or to the hundredths place, which is further to the right? You're going to have to address that question. Likewise, over here for this one, B, it's 120,000. See how I try to space out my digits when I do this? That way I can easily mark the last significant figure and draw my rounding bar. Okay, so my last sig fig here is in the 10,000s place, and here it's in the tens place. So the question that you're going to have to address is, are you going to round to the 10,000s place, which is further to the left, or to the tens place, which is further to the right? Okay, so again, your job here is to complete questions 9, which are only addition and subtraction. You apply these rules. So complete question 9, and then also 10. Notice in 10 you have a mixture of addition, subtraction, and multiplication, division. We have a very different set of rules for addition and subtraction versus multiplication and division, so you're going to need to go back and review those multiplication division rules. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. See you soon.